welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing Coraline Halloween inspired nails, so please stay tuned to see how to do these step by step. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe, like, and comment to stay tuned for more Halloween content. So let's jump right into it. We are going to be using Madam Glam Ready Set Ski as the base color. I will be applying this to all 5 nails. I really love Madam Glam gel polishes. I have a discount code in the description if you'd like to save on any of their products. And I also have a full in-depth video on how I prep my press-on nails if you'd like to check that out, linked above. So I've applied that to all 5 nails. We are using the Nails by Dove full cover square tips here. And we're gonna go ahead and apply a matte top coat. I just find that this helps with nail art. It just kind of makes it easier. Your nail brush just really glides across the surface and the lines come out a little bit better. So we're gonna start with the Coraline logo. I have a reference image pulled up on the side with my iPad, and I'm just really trying to take note of how each letter looks. And I'm using a white gel paint here, and I'm gonna make the O a button, so we're gonna fill that in the center. I feel like the letters here are a little slanted and curved, and they're not super perfect looking, so we're just taking it step by step and drawing each letter and curing in between. Now we are gonna go ahead and mix up some yellow neon gel paint and some top coat. This is gonna create a translucent color. And I will apply that all over the white gel paint that we have outlined and a little bit beyond the borders as well. Since we used a white gel paint as the base, this is gonna help this pop out even more. And because we mixed in some top coat, and we're applying it a little bit beyond the edges of the letters, it's gonna create a little bit of a glowing neon effect, which is what we're going for. I did a variation of this in my last Haunted Mansion nail tutorial as well. This is just one of my favorite effects to do for Halloween nail art, and it's just a great way to add more detail to your nails. With a very small dotting tool, I used some black gel polish and added 4 dots to create a button within the O, cured that, and then I'm just applying my Koopa top coat. Even though we did a matte top coat underneath, once we add a shiny top coat, it'll bring back that glossy effect. Now we're gonna draw the tunnel, and we're gonna be using the colors shown here. We're gonna be doing a variation of these on our nail art palette. So what I'm gonna do is basically scoop out a little bit of each color and add a little bit of blue and then eventually some white, just so that the colors aren't too dark and they show up on that blue base that we've already done. So we'll start off with a small black circle in the center, and then this design is just gonna be drawing more circles around that, radiating outwards from the center. So those are the various colors I'm using. So I'm gonna start off with that lighter purple, just so I don't have too many dark colors close together. And the key to this design is just leaving the polish uncured, because you do want to add more color back in and blend as needed. This is not a perfect design by any means. It's really just a blend of a bunch of blues and purples with hints of gray and black. So you can see I'm starting to mix that blue in with the purple, and then I'm going back in with a black shading gel, which is like a lighter black, just to add in some more dimension. And we're just gonna keep doing that around and around until we get to the edges of the nail, and then we'll finally cure it at the end. Next, we are gonna draw Coraline. This is gonna be the most fun and complicated part of this nail set. I promise it's not that hard if you break it down step by step. So I'm starting off with outlining the shape of her head, her neck, and then we're gonna do the general outline of her orange raincoat. I really am trying to take note of the size and shape of her head and proportion to the other parts of her body. Character nail art is super hard, but it's just about practice and putting yourself out there and giving it a shot. Once we cure that, we're gonna add in some white gel paint. Because we do have a darker base, we do wanna add white before we go back in with more color so that it still pops up and shows up as very pigmented. And then I am gonna mix together these two colors for her skin tone, just a light peach, pinkish color, mixing that together. And once that white gel is cured, we're gonna apply it over that and just fill that area in and then cure as well. Now we're going to start drawing details to the face area. So we're doing the general outline of her hair with the black shading gel, and then we're going to go back in and fill that in with some color. Of course, starting off with the white gel paint. I'm going to do a bright blue for her hair. I know her hair is more of a navy blue, but it was just going to clash too much with the background. But that's okay, that's the fun part of this. You can mix and match and change your colors as needed. It doesn't have to match the reference image perfectly. I'm trying to draw the outline of her hair just based on, I know that it's very short and kind of straight, and then we're doing some curvy lines at the top. And that's how it looks, and we're gonna go ahead and cure that. I'm mixing these two colors for her hair, so you'll see it turns out to be a bright blue, and I think this showed up much better with the background, so I went ahead and used that to fill in the white gel paint. So using the Nails by Dev shading gel, we're gonna go back and add in a little bit of black dimension and texture to her hair. This is just gonna help it not look so flat. I've already cured the blue, and I would recommend the shading gel for this, or you could just mix a black gel polish with top coat. Once we've done that, we're gonna work on the raincoat. So I'm just outlining it generally with white gel paint. But once we go back and add the orange, it'll all come together. But I'm just noting here, you know, the parts of her collar and generally where the sleeves will be. This doesn't need to be perfect at this point. We're just really mapping out where we will add in these details later. Once that white gel is cured, we're gonna take this orange gel polish and apply it over the entire surface of where the rain jacket will be. When it comes to covering large surfaces, I do think gel polish works better, but either way, whether it's gel paint or gel polish, you do wanna make sure you're working in pretty thin layers. I know it looks like it may have a lot of product, but what I like to do is once I place the product down, I try to use what's there and spread it around evenly. I try to make sure it's not pooling up too much in one area. We're gonna fully cure that, and I decided to go ahead and just finish off the face before I do any shading. So I'm taking a micro detailer brush and just doing her eyebrows. And for her eyes, I wanted to draw them as buttons, so I'm taking a small dotting tool. These are from Beetles. I really love these. They come in a variety of sizes. I drew her eyes and then went back in with that micro detailer and just added 2 white X's as buttons. And then taking that pink gel polish color we had used earlier for the skin tone, we're just drawing in some small details for her face. It looks really faint, but I promise it's there. I just took the approach of making those details a little bit more faint, but you can definitely make them more prominent as you'd like. And for the shading of the orange jacket, we took that same orange gel polish and mixed in some black shading gel. So I'm just pointing to those two here, and it came up with this darker orange. And we're gonna use this to outline the various details of her jacket. So just like the zipper in the middle, the collar, and around the sleeves and the edges of the jacket as well. I had initially thought of just outlining everything with the black gel liner, but I wanted to take a more subtle approach. And this turned out really nice, I think, just using shading as a mechanism to show where the sleeves are and the collar. And you can definitely use this technique, you know, use your base color and then use a darker version of that color that maybe you add some top coat to or shading gel, and use that to shade in and add in the rest of the details. And I wanted to add a little bit more color to her hair, so I'm just adding a little bit more of that black shading gel. And here is how my version of Coraline turned out. Pretty simple, but like I said, character nail art is super tough, so I'm always just proud of myself when I give it a shot and see it all the way through. Next, we're gonna draw the kind of spiraling spider web. This is super simple. You start off with some diagonal lines in the center and just continue to draw those coming outwards. I guess this kind of is supposed to be like the shape of a hexagon, but again, it is continuing to go outward, so I'm just drawing the points all around the nail and connecting them. And for the pinky, our final design is just gonna be some simple yellow stars. We're starting off with the larger dotting tool and putting a dot at the center, and then I'm taking my liner brush and just dragging it out to a point. I noticed that these stars in the reference images I saw are more thicker and chunkier, so normally if I was drawing a star like this, I would try to use like simple thin strokes so that it doesn't look too big, but I think in this case the stars being bigger makes more sense, so you can just keep dragging it out until the stars are to your liking. Now to finish off this look, we're just gonna add in 4 small dots with a smaller dotting tool, cure that, and then add in our top coat. And that is the end of this tutorial for these Coraline Halloween nails. All products will be in the description. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and stay tuned for my next Halloween video next week.